Hey guys, it's Ron here and welcome to some F1 2012 content for you today at Catalonia in Nico Rosberg's Mercedes car. And in this video we're going to be going through testing, as yesterday was the final day of the whole winter testing, as the teams will now be heading to Melbourne, Australia in 2 weeks time for the start of the 2013 season. And in this video I'm just going to be going through what's been happening over testing, give my thoughts, and then through the teams and drivers in particular. Yesterday, Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes, which you can see on the screen here, set the fastest time of all winter testing at Barcelona's Catalunya circuit, as he set a 1:20.1, which was 3 tenths quicker than the next car, which was Fernando Alonso in the Ferrari. And I suspect that both of them were running sort of qualifying fuel runs on the soft tyres. We have to wait and see on that. Notable teams: McLaren, they did pretty well. They were in the top 5, which is good to see, with Jenson Button taking the realm of the final day. And him and Sergio Checo have done pretty well through testing. The car looks stable through the corners. They don't really do qualifying runs, which we've seen in the past at every testing session, which kind of shows that they're practicing their race pace probably, and monitoring tyre degradation, which is pretty good to see, knowing that Checo's on board, who is probably one of the best drivers on tyre degradation. So be interesting to see what happens there. Force India, who at the last testing session announced that Adrian Sutil will be back racing for them next season. He did pretty well for the couple of days he was there. He looked good in one of the morning sessions, but didn't really take a part in the second part of the day. But he looks pretty good, and he hasn't lost his touch since what happened last year. Off the track, so it's good to have him back. But the most bizarre thing that's been happening this week is Marussia, as Jules Bianchi is now driving for the team with Max Chilton, as Razia, who was supposed to be driving for Marussia, didn't have the funds to pay the team for him to drive, which was kind of bizarre, and sadly he was dropped. And there were big rumours going around that the likes of Heikki Kovalainen, Kobayashi and Narain Karthikeyan were going to take that seat, but it looked like Bianchi was going to take the seat, and it could possibly lead to Marussia getting possibly Ferrari engines for 2014, so that would be pretty good to see for a small team like them to get a big engine in Ferrari. And obviously the engine changes are coming in next season, which will see the end of the V8 engines, which we can hear, which is a real shame. On to Red Bull, and they were pretty. It was sort of a mixed bag, this one. They were off the pace, but obviously we know testing is going to be off. Teams will be off the pace. They don't really give their true pace off at this stage of the testing. But they looked pretty good, and hopefully Red Bull will defend their title this season, and it would be a cracking battle. This season they brought in some packages in the last testing session, which was pretty good to see, and they did quite a lot of race pace. I think they were the third. They were the third highest, had the most number of laps of anyone in the testing at Barcelona and Jerez, I think. I'm not 100% sure. With Mercedes clocking in the most number of laps of any team, with nearly over 100 plus laps on every single day, which was pretty good to see, apart from the first 2 days at Jerez, when Hamilton and Rosberg had their, issues with the car. Let's put it that way. One team to notice though is Williams, and Pastor Maldonado and Bottas, who's joining the team. They've looked pretty promising. They've looked not up there fighting for the fastest time, but their car looks beautiful. And the car looks absolutely stable for the corners, for the slow corners. So they're ones to watch out for this season, I do think, battling up there for podiums possibly, and even top 5 finishes. So in some races, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that car. And I think Bottas as well. He's going to be probably the dark horse of the rookies, probably the fastest of any rookie that we'll have on the grid. So that'll be pretty good to see on that perspective as well. On to Toro Rosso and Daniel Ricciardo and Jean-Eric Vergne, let's put it that way. And there they had a pretty good testing. They made a couple of mistakes in Barcelona when it was wet. Not really their sort of conditions. I think they've got to get the car a bit more stable in the wet. I think more aero's needed for that car. But they have a bit of time now before they head to Australia to tweak anything aerodynamic, so it'll be good to them. Sauber looking pretty promising as well. Love the car, by the way, looks brilliant, which I'll go into in the team preview episode. And Nico Hülkenberg, haven't seen much though of Gutierrez through the testing sessions, so I don't know what's been happening to him. But he looks promising. He looks like the next Sergio Perez, so it'll be really exciting to see how he does in the Sauber. Hülkenberg, I don't know why he left Force India, but if the Sauber team were offering a better car, then probably the reason why. And he was complaining though of the car being a bit twitchy and oversteery over the last couple of days of testing, so that'll be a bit of a shame. Now on to the one I wanted to talk about the most, Lotus, and Kimi Raikkonen had the final 2 days of testing, and the car, look, they had a bit of problem with gearbox issues, but the car looks very good, and Grosjean and Raikkonen were fastest in Jerez and I think a couple of Barcelona test sessions days, so I do think Lotus are probably one of the big mid to high teams that will probably challenge McLaren, Ferrari and Red Bull for the Constructors' Championship this season, and I do really think they have a chance. And their car looks beautiful, the car looks stable, aerodynamically it's brilliant, so, and they're pretty good on the tyres as well, so it's going to be probably one of the closest seasons we have in F1, with 5 teams, maybe possibly 6, with McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, Lotus and Mercedes going to be battling out there for who is the fastest team on the calendar. But anyway guys, that is the end of the quick little video on the testing. Make sure you like and favourite the video, and yeah, it's going to be a very good season, and I do really wish you stick with my channel, and we will have some more F1 2013 content for you. But until next time guys, hope you have a great day, and I shall see you then. Take care, see you later.